Radio.net, the voice of Chester.
Welcome to another edition of Delco Sports 360. I'm Dave Burman. To my left is the pride of Norwood and Interboro High School. His name is Jim Fitzpatrick, a star for the Bucks high school football team. Played 3 years, didn't you, Jim? 85, 86, 87 was your senior year, class of 88. And thanks for joining me on the show. Really appreciate it. And Interboro has a rich history.
Thanks for having me, Dave. I appreciate it.
Yeah, started 1955 was actually the first year for Interboro High School.
Really?
Yep. And you started, obviously, with you went to St. James High School first, your ninth grade year, you told me?
I did, yes. At the time, I didn't realize how, with the tradition at St. James, especially with baseball,
right,
and how they were pretty powerful in football and baseball. I kind of went there because I think my mother said I needed a little more discipline.
Oh, wow. Wow. So that's incredible. That's incredible. So but you grew up in Norwood, though.
I did, yep. I played baseball, basketball, football for Norwood, and walked down to the lower park pretty much every night, to the pool or to the park.
Yeah, of course, Norwood and Chester, 5-10 minutes away. You know, so he went to St. James. John Mooney was obviously the coach back then. He's doing great, 90-some years old.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I go to the doghouse occasionally in Essington. So, yeah, your career, how did it start off? You know, did you play all three sports at Interboro besides football? Did you play basketball, baseball, whatever?
I played baseball and football my whole life, but I only played basketball for a year in 10th grade. It wasn't really my game, to be honest with you, but it kept me in good shape. That was the best part about it. But I played baseball at St. James, and then when I transferred to Interboro, I played football, basketball, and baseball. But my 9th grade year, I did play football, but I played for the Termites. That's where I learned how to play quarterback.
The Prospect Park.
Correct.
Termites, yeah, because I had the new Interboro head coach Patrick Fisher on our show earlier this year, and he was telling me about the roots of I've heard about him over the years, especially since I moved back to the area with the feeder programs at Interboro, and Patrick will get the program going. You know, the thing with the Interboros and a lot of teams, not just Chester High and Academy Park and Penwood, it's just losing some of the kids and really a lot of our good kids in sports to the Philadelphia Catholic League and some of the Interact schools too.
Well, that's the route to take right now. I mean, if you can get a top-notch education at one of the private schools and play at a high level, whatever sport it is, I mean, that's the way to go, in my opinion.
Right.
But it's not for everybody. I mean, we did that with my son and your nephew, obviously, nephews.
Yes, they all went to private schools. And the Burmans, we go back a long way. So.
Yeah. It's I get what you're saying. It's kind of a difficult situation for everybody. Like, there's my son Johnny, who's at Immaculata now. His Ridley team, baseball team, growing up, I think 3 or 4 kids from that team play Division I baseball right now.
Right.
But they all went separate ways,
Yeah. So
all to different schools. None of them went to Ridley.
So John, so you have Casey, who I work with.
Correct.
At Burman's Health Shop in Brookhaven. She's been there, seems like forever, but she just got a new job at Harcum College/University, I think, and then she's going to be doing admissions, I think she said. So that's good. We're going to miss her, but hopefully she can help us out a little bit part-time. So
I'm very proud of her.
Casey, and she's her fiance or future husband is a Coatesville great baseball player, Matt Stolzer. I know and you guys get all over the place. So John, you have Casey went to Ridley, actually, so you guys live in the Ridley School District.
Yes, we live in Morton. Well, it's really obviously still, but it's Morton Post Office, right near the Aquatic Swim Club. My dad, mom, they used to take me to Green's Tavern in Morton, right? It's not there anymore. Right
but.
where the the Village Mall used to be.
Yeah, right in there. Green's. You're talking the 1960s. So, so you guys lived in that area. So Casey's the oldest?
Yes.
And you just have Casey and John?
Casey and John,
That's it. Okay. So Casey went to Ridley. John would have gone to Ridley, as you said, but why did he go to, and my nephew was happy, the youngest one, Sam, who's playing college baseball, Catholic University down in Washington, D.C., but you went to Friends Central.
Correct. Yeah. That was when we kind of made up our mind that this was the route we were going to take with him. We looked at a couple schools, and then I met Marty through
my bro,
baseball.
Youngest baby bro.
And Johnny and Sammy were playing travel ball together at the time. So he had mentioned something about Friends Central, and then we ended up talking to John Rubin, came out to watch and play some games, and it was a great fit for him.
Yeah, you guys had some nice runs, tough league, private school baseball. So, and John now is junior at Immaculata?
He's redshirt sophomore. He would be with baseball, but
redshirt sophomore.
Junior year for academics. Yes.
He played with some tremendous ball players. Ruben's son is where now?
I think he's at Pepperdine.
All right, the Division I school out there. Yeah,
like the Division I school in Malibu.
And of course, my nephews play. Delco League baseball. And Marty and Ben, they're running baseball camps, and Sam and Leo and Alex. You know them all. Yeah, from back in the day. I never had any kids, but I was gone for a long time, as you know. Central PA, radio, Harrisburg area, that part, Lancaster, York, Mifflin County, and then also 13 of those years in Harrisonburg, Virginia. So basically, I graduated Nether Providence 76. I was basically gone from the area from 76 all the way through 2015. But I would come back. I'd go to games. So
you're pre-Strathaven then?
Yeah, pre-Strathaven. I'm 66 years old, and we had some great athletes back then. Good old Nether Providence High School. All right, so Jim Fitzpatrick, you had as you saw on my Facebook post today, it is what kind of haircut? The Brian Bosworth look. Now, it's the
Mohawk?
The Mohawk you had, yes.
Well, that was kind of like a tradition at Interboro. We all got our hair cut like that during summer camp when we used to have the two-a-days.
Man,
they were a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet. Who were your coaches? So you left St. James. So 85, 86, the team was 110-1. I'll give you the. You lost to Ridley. You play Ridley every year in the Thanksgiving game, and Ridley beat you 34-7. So 85. Tell us about your sophomore year.
85, I think I got into maybe one game at the end of the year. So the following year, my junior year, I did something stupid while I was there. So I got benched for the first game. I was late a couple times for practice, being stupid. So they sat me for the first game, and then I started the rest of the games after that. But we had that was a good team.
Right, your junior year.
Yes.
Guys went 7-5. Still hard to beat Ridley, bigger school, 26-7. And so, who was your coach your sophomore season?
Sophomore year was Dom Scamuffa.
Oh, and Scamuffa then the next year too, right? Tell us.
Sophomore, junior, and my senior year was Jerry Kennedy.
And tell us about the coach Scamuffa. What a great name.
Yeah, he was a little guy, but he was very fiery and. He good motivator. I don't know about the X's and O's and all that, but he was a good coach.
They had a good year, you know.
Supportive, I was really young and really new to the school, and I hadn't played quarterback for that long at all, maybe a year with the Termites. So he kind of brought me along, and he was a good guy.
So, and did you play baseball?
I did.
All right, so did you play baseball your sophomore season?
I did, all 3 years at Interboro.
Who was your coaches there, or coach?
Tom D'Alonzo, his name was.
Don't remember him.
But you know what? It was a lot different back then. Now, these kids train all year long,
right,
and they go to academies and hitting coaches, and we didn't even have our own bats back then.
Oh my gosh, really?
You show up for baseball in the spring, and the coach dumps the duffel bag out with all the catcher's equipment and all that. It was a different time.
Breon Nichols says hi. Thank you for checking in, Breon. Appreciate it very much here. Delco Sports 360. Yeah, so back then, you in football, you went up 1 year. You probably played. Did you play against Matt Blunden's team?
I played against Matt Blunden. Kenny Hull, I think it was, from Strathaven.
Oh, yeah, Ken Hull, yeah.
Duke, I think.
Yeah, just saw him last year.
Pat Evans played at
Strathaven.
Pro. Glenn Mills had a couple guys.
Oh,
played,
man.
Played high-level college. And
of course, you played against Chester. That was how athletic, and they still are.
We played them in the Delco, or the Del Val Championship, and it was an awful day, rainy and all that, and I could barely hold the ball. I remember going home from the orange on their helmets. I had orange all over my fingers and my fingernails. I just got the crap beat.
Was it at our field?
It was at Interboro.
It was at Interboro that night. So they're making some improvements to the Interboro field, by the way.
They have some nice facilities around, lights, and I mean, our old locker room for football games was the old high school on South Avenue.
Oh man!
So which was closed for I don't know how long. So we would walk across the street at halftime, go down the steps into a building that nobody used anymore.
Wow, Chester does that now. I think without the locker rooms, we go to a Showalter school. I think we go inside
really?
Yeah, it's kind of cool walking
down
down
there. Is that next
there.
to Field of Dreams there?
Yeah. Oh, the baseball field is ours is top notch.
Wow.
The Chester High School baseball. What a complex! It's been around a long time. 1951, and so you can see it from the Commodore Barry Bridge when you come over. It's a great site, and a lot of just legendary games there. So you played against the Clippers, and
Trent Klatt. That brings up a name. I think he was a tight end for Chester. He was good.
You had some battles with them, man.
I can't remember the name of their quarterback, but he was really good too.
So it was really, really good football, Del Val, and hopefully it'll get back. Chester's really dominating the Del Val the last few years, and just hopefully the other teams at Chester, a lot of young guys. Yeah. Got to keep them away from the private schools, but Interboro's got some studs coming up, so
they do. I have a friend of mine, Jerry McLaughlin, his son.
Oh, his son's a quarterback.
Yep. Yeah. So I was talking to him about their first couple of games. I don't understand the scheduling, why they would schedule a small school like Interboro is playing these giant suburban one schools, and I mean they have no shot at beating those kids when they have 3 deep at each position.
They are 4A. They dropped to 4A Interboro. So, but the Del Val's mostly 5A schools. I'm trying to think if there's a 6A school right now in the Del Val, but yeah, I mean that's a good fit for them. It gets them ready, playoff ready. Like a couple of years ago, Abu Kamar, they won the district championship. They beat the private school, Pope John Paul. You heard about Abu. Now at Yale doing a great job. So they've had in Steve Lennox. So after, we'll talk about that. So after Jerry left, so 87, your senior year, 87, 88, the football team at Interboro was 2-9. You had 2 wins. You beat Harrington 31-8. I wrote down the scores.
What an accomplishment that was.
Well, they had a couple after that. Teddy Pendergrass, the singer, The Love I Lost and all that. His son was a heck of a player for Harrington. They actually won a District 1 championship.
I think Gary Maddox's son.
And Gary Maddox, who they beat Chester in basketball one year. I think it was 1991-92 season. Unbelievable. Wow. So they were good after that. You beat Unionville 20-9. You gave Ridley your senior year despite 2 wins. 1987 lost 20-14. You remember that game?
Oh boy, yeah, it was an epic game. was actually tied with, I believe it was 46 seconds left.
Wow.
Ridley was on our goal line and was a 4th down, and they called a pass interference, like a pretty bad call that would have ended the game as a tie right there. But they called the flag, they threw the flag, and we lost. And actually, I believe one of the kid that they called the penalty on, I think actually tried to take a swing at the referee.
Oh no. Unbelievable. Yeah, well, it's you got to maintain your composure. I tell you that much, man. You have to do it. It's tough. Talk. You seem like a very calm gentleman right now, but I heard Casey says you were, heard you were feisty on the field. You look pretty intimidating with the mohawk.
Well, that was probably what it was for, but
unbelievable.
Yeah, I guess I've changed over the years, but yeah, I was that guy who was always screaming and running around. And
emotional leader of the team.
Was kicking everybody in the ass, yeah.
You got a lot of rave reviews. I was a Philadelphia Inquirer article that I had and I posted it a lot over the time. I have to try to find some more. Oh, I can. Some of the games. I don't have the Delco Times archives because my archive site just has the Philadelphia Inquirer. Now, I have Delco Times some 78 before that, but not in the 80s. So I'm sure you have some stuff floating around, or did
probably I would probably have to dig for it.
I can look for the Inquirer stuff for you, because that was when the Inquirer actually covered high school sports, man. So Jim Fitzpatrick again. Tell us, mom and dad, growing up. Tell us about your your childhood to getting up into high school.
Grew up in Norwood with mother and father, and my sister Jenny, brother Eddie. And my parents got divorced. My dad remarried. I have a sister, Jill, who lives near Boston.
Right.
Both of my sisters actually live up there now. Pretty normal childhood. I was from morning till night. It was either hockey, baseball, football, whatever.
Wow, street hockey.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's it was Flyers are still the bullies. I mean, they weren't winning Stanley Cups. We had some Ed Hospodar and those guys.
Played deck hockey for years.
Oh, did you?
Down at the Family Fun spot down there, if you don't remember that or not.
Oh, yeah. It's a great game. It's a barbaric, but that's how we won Stanley Cups growing up. Or you might have been old enough to remember this.
What was it,
Broad Street Bullet, 74, 75, yeah.
I remember...
Yeah.
I remember the Canada Dry cans with the faces.
Yeah. Oh, it was just, and we the Russians came in to play us, and we just bullied them out of. They left walked off the ice. We were just physical. They weren't physical, but as time has gone on, the hockey now it's very Russian-like with the skating and the speed, and a lot of those Russians did turn out to be goons eventually. Yeah. I mean, they knew they had to toughen up a little bit. They didn't like.
The Flyers are finally coming back, or actually making their team modern now. They're not the lumbering old Flyers anymore.
We're trying, man. It's
Mishkov is amazing.
He is, and he's Russian, right? Yep. He's a Russian guy. So yeah, had no trouble coming over here and all that stuff. But yeah, he's. We'll just have to wait and see what happens, man. I like Tortorella. He's a tough coach. He's aggressive. He tells it like it is, but these guys got to get used to it. So
he benched him the other night.
I missed that.
Yeah, for a teaching lesson, he said.
Okay, well, he won a Stanley Cup, and hopefully he'll win one with us, because that's
was Rangers, was it? Or?
It was 20 years ago, 2004 Tampa Bay Lightning.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was a wild man then, much more wilder. He's calmed down a little bit, the Flyer coach, John Tortorella. Tyrone Ricks, 10 of Life. Good evening, Dave Burman. Who else is there? Thank you very much for checking in. That's pretty cool. People can, give us messages here.
That's very cool.
So you graduated in 1988 from Interboro High School.
Yep.
Again, Jerry Kennedy was your coach. So what were your plans after that? I know you did have a trip, and you met Joe Paterno at Penn State. Is that true? That's what Casey told me. You had a trip up there, at least, to Happy Valley.
Yeah, we were at the football camp up there, and we were just talking about this last night. He flew in on a helicopter and landed on the practice field where the stadium's here, and there's like 4 fields next to it.
Yeah, Beaver Stadium.
He pulls lands the chopper, comes out, and the weird part was, instead of having water for everyone, they pulled up in pickup trucks and emptied out Coca-Cola cans. For
Oh,
everybody at the camp.
man. Wow.
That just tells you the little difference with nutrition and all that now.
Yeah, because you've lost a lot of weight. You told me staying away from the sugar stuff. Yeah, sugar, yeah.
Soda.
So did you get a chance to meet him?
No, I mean, she's probably exaggerating, Casey, but no.
But you were up there and you had camp.
There had to be 500 kids up there for camp, so it was more like a celebrity
Right.
dropping in on us. You know.
So you drove through, that's where I was, basically 30 miles south, a town called Lewistown on 322, and that was called Mifflin County. It's in Mifflin County. I was there 13 years. Wow. 2002 to 2015 before I came back to Delco. It's been a lot of fun. Interboro, by the way, the football program, you have a TV network. They televise the home games. Bill Soroka, whose grandfather won a track and field state championship for Chester back in the 40s. Unbelievable. So he's the play-by-play guy, Bill Soroka. He's now a teacher there. So, yeah. So what did you tell me about it, after you graduated Interboro in 1988?
I didn't really do much with college. I went to Delaware County and played baseball for a year there. And then I did what every other athlete in Delco does. They play rough touch, softball.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Whatever else is available.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
So who were, growing up in the Philly area, who were some of your idols, football, baseball, that, you looked up to, that you pattern your game after? And let's focus on baseball and then football.
I was always a Lance Parrish guy.
Oh yeah, Detroit.
Yep.
He's a Western PA guy near Pittsburgh.
Because I was a catcher, so I always liked Lance. Maybe because of his glove, but
they won the last Tiger World Championship
with Lou Whitaker, right?
1984.
Who was the shortstop?
There was Alan Trammell.
Alan Trammell.
And the manager, Fiery Sparky Anderson.
Lighting up the cigarettes in the dugout.
Loved it. That's the last Detroit World Championship when it comes to Major League Baseball. They've had some good teams here and there, but yeah.
Well,
so
maybe the Delco kid Kevin McGonigal will change that.
I know. Pride of, I'm trying to think, because his dad's my Facebook buddy. He went to obviously Bonner, but he would have played, I think, somewhere in the Del Val. It might have been Academy Park or.
I think they're from Alden, maybe, so probably would be Penwood, I guess.
Penwood, yeah. And boy, a Del Val team, we could use that kind of talent, but yeah, it's tough. And, Strathaven's doing a great job over the years. And, Marple Newtown, my buddy Mark Jordan's, he's at Radnor now. So, yeah, we do have some good public school baseball. It's just hard to win a PIAA state championship. We've won one since the tournament started, 1978 from Delaware County. One state title was Mark Jordan, Marple Newtown, and that was 2018. That's how tough it is.
What do you think about the private schools being able to play in those?
Hasn't really made a big deal in baseball because Bonner has made it to the state semis 4 straight years, and they've lost all except for 1 year. They lost to Holy Ghost, which is a private school but smaller. But the other 3 years they lost to regular old public schools. But basketball, football's tough.
Well, do you think that the private schools should be?
I'd like to see them split now. Yeah, I'd like to see them split, and I don't think a lot of these Catholic schools would have a problem with that. And I think 2 separate classes for the private schools, and then be whatever, single A, double A, whatever, and then 4 classes, go back to 4 classes in the public schools. That's what I would do, but it's up to the PIAA and to decide that. They're still talking about it, but like this year, we know in football, Chester has a chance to go to the PIAA state semifinals. 5A, Chester's 5A, Roman Catholic, they're 6A in basketball, but they're 5A in football now. So it would be our District 1 champ, Chester has a very good chance to be there, would have to play Roman Catholic in the state semis. And they're loaded up with a lot of athletes. Yeah, we could beat them, but our District 1, hoping obviously it's Chester, I'm their PA guy, and they have to work hard to get there. But I think if we have Roman Catholic there, and then Imhotep, which is a charter school, but they're 6A now. So whoever wins District 1, 6A, I'm hoping now since Coatesville's out, I had to root for Coatesville because I announced their games. Hopefully Haverford can get in there. They're having a great year. Right. And they would have to play either Imhotep, LaSalle, or St. Joe's Prep in the state semis. So, like Strathaven's made the state semis in football twice in the last 4 years, and they got mercy ruled both times by Imhotep. Wow. And Strathaven was loaded, And then Garnet Valley in 6A went to the state semifinals twice in the last 4 years. They got mercy ruled both times by St. Joe's Prep. So, yeah, I'd like to see separation.
What's the point differential for mercy rule in football?
35.
Wow.
35 points.
After what, halftime?
After halftime, yeah. So that's a running clock, they call it. Right. So, yeah, that's what I'd like to see. What do your guys think? What are your peeps?
As like for whether they
public,
should play
private, yeah.
I'm kind of back and forth with it, only because a lot of the private schools let their student athletes, what do you call that?
Classify.
Reclassify.
Yeah, they do that in the Interact with. Friend Central can do it. Haverford School, they have a couple of kids from Strathaven, the Jones boys, Matt and Marcus. Matt, I've known him since like 7th, 8th grade, and then they transfer. Ike Jones is their father, and Kate Mulhern, the mother, great athletes at Strathaven. So they transferred after there. Well, Matt is he'll be a senior next year. Marcus is the younger one, and he's going to be a sophomore. So Matt redshirted or reclassified, right. You want to call it. So you can do that. Malvern Prep and Springside, Chestnut Hill, those kind of schools can do that. Episcopal. Not sure about the Philadelphia Catholic League, but I hear some of them do it. But
you cannot do that in public schools. Is that correct?
No, you can't do that. But some schools over the years have held back some kids in 8th grade, right. 9th grade. I've heard some stuff.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I mean, it depends on your
situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, your situation. Looking at the messages here, Tyrone Wicks, Westchester Henderson. Yeah, they're going to be good. I think really in basketball again this year. So keep an eye on Henderson and just a lot of great sports in Delaware County. And in the fall we have boys and girls soccer. We have field hockey. We had a state championship in cross country. Haverford High School. Really? Haverford girls cross country state championship. It's hard to win a PIAA state title. Interboro won a bunch in a sport called rifle.
Seriously?
And I have the articles on that. They were PIAA. They had a rifle, and they won like 5 of them back in all in the 1960s. And I showed your daughter Casey one day. I have some articles from that. I don't know if you were related to any, but anyway, yeah. So Interboro, but they've never been to a state final in sports. And Chester, of course, basketball, PIAA record for public schools, 8 state titles. And so, but the last one was 2012. So yeah, it's tougher and tougher and tougher. As I said, the only baseball team to win a PIAA state championship, Mark Jordan and Marple Newtown, 2018. The only football team program to win a state championship. They did it twice, Strathaven in 99 and 2000.
Well, if Ridley didn't fumble on the 1 yard line, what was that?
1990. Dennis Decker was the quarterback, and we talked about him, me and Chris Edwards, who starred on the Strathaven teams of 96, 97, or 96, 97, 98, 99. And he told me that was an incredible team. There was a Buzza. Do you remember those guys? It was after you.
I remember the names.
So you followed them. You're only a couple of years out of high school.
Yeah, well, I knew a lot of the guys from Ridley. So.
Well, some, yeah, you would have been maybe a senior, and they might have been freshmen or 8th graders. Some of them, 99.
I think Decker was maybe 2 years behind me, I want to say.
I'd like to meet him someday. He's
around.
I heard he's yeah. I heard So what are you doing these days, Jim?
I'm playing a lot of golf.
Golf, and you're still working. Well, yeah, you're young. You work, and you're only mid-50s, right?
Yep, 54.
Okay. 54. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just keep it going. I'm still working, at the health shop. So it keeps me active.
Great. Nice setup here, man.
Yeah, this is great. Jean Pierre, a Chester guy, he put this together, the cmpradio.net. A lot of great shows throughout the day. You have to check out the website. Everything's archived on YouTube. which is good. So later on tonight, I'll make a post, and because a lot of people might have missed our show here tonight, and they can have it to look forever. I tagged the Interboro Bucks. Nice. So what a thrill, though, to play in that stadium, because it has a lot of history to it, the Interboro Field. Did they just call it the South Avenue Field? South Avenue Sports Complex.
Yeah, exactly, South Avenue Sports Complex. You know, I don't think I've been to an Interboro football game in probably 15 years.
All right, we'll try to get there. Well, they have one more to go. See, Ridley got knocked out of the District 1 tournament. Okay. Yeah, they gave North Penn a really good game, first round District 1 tournament, but then they got knocked out. So, yeah, I mean, it's
like North Penn, for instance. That's a giant school.
But Ridley's pretty big too. So not as big. Well, right. Well, the numbers, that kind of, if it was 4A, it'd be even tougher. Yeah. You know, it would be even tougher, but that's why they spreaded it out. But it's just too much.
No matter what they do, it's not going to make everybody happy.
I know.
So it's,
I know. You know. But there's some teams that get into it in the postseason. They're like 0-10. You know, because there's 6 classes, it's spread out, and then, you know, in 10 you only have a couple of teams in the district that are 3A, 2A, 4A, you know.
And they play all the finals?
Well, they'll play, they now played the last couple of years at Cumberland Valley High School, west of Harrisburg. Beautiful facility. John Ritchie's alma mater. He won a state championship, 1992. He's on 94.1. So, yeah, what's your greatest thrill? What's the most memorable game? I know you had probably a couple, but what do you think? Some of the highlights of your high school career, memorable game. You said, you know, the Thanksgiving against Ridley in 1987. There was one you talked about.
Yeah,
how about Del Val game?
Let's see, Del Val game when we beat Glen Mills.
Whoa!
And we beat them pretty good too. We were ready for them, and I think they were like 6-0 or something at the time.
And they had
that was incredible going to Glen Mills to play.
What a field! What a facility!
And how they were great to you out there. I mean, and the basketball games were even better.
Oh, with their fans, the kids. God. Yeah, it's criminal. Criminal. It's a school for kids. Got in trouble. You know, yeah. I had Barry Swanson on my show. He was the track and field coach at Glen Mills, won several state championships. I'm interviewing him, and I'm saying, hey, you know, Barry, you get the minor offenses, right? No. Some of these kids, I know every hood and crypt in the country, and there was some bad stuff. But some of the kids, but it made them better people for the most part, from what I hear. And a lot of guys I know were like counselors, and but it's a darn shame they closed down, man. But tell me about playing them.
I remember, I told you I only played a year of basketball at Interboro, but it was a JV basketball game, and I took a charge on a kid, and he told me he was going to slit my throat.
Oh my God!
Now you got to remember, I was probably 15 at the time.
Were you what year? Do you remember? Was it
my sophomore year?
So it was 85, 86.
Yep. So when you see kids that at that time that had tattoos and beards, you know, it's like.
But you beat them.
There's a little difference between us.
Did you play? You only played them once in your career, as far as you know?
Once in football and a bunch of times in baseball.
Oh, well, yeah, in baseball.
Yeah.
And they were
probably a great field.
Yeah. So basketball, they had some unbelievable games. Did you ever go to the Chester Glen Mills playoff games?
I did not. But I do have a good story about Glen Mills. We were talking about George DeVinny earlier.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That name, I've heard about George.
You want to talk about.
Where's he? He's from where?
He's from Glen Olden.
So he went to Interboro.
Right, went to Interboro and with Temple, and then he was with the Saints, I think, in Canada.
Yeah, you told me that, yeah.
This dude is like something special, like 6'4", 250 pounds, catches giant hands. Well, they're warming up for a varsity game at Glen Mills, and he dunks a couple times. So I'm sitting in the stands and with all the students, and I'm getting, man, he's not doing that during the game. There's no way. 2 minutes into the game, he goes baseline and reverse jams. I thought the place was going to fall down. They went absolutely insane.
It was at Glen Mills.
At Glen Mills.
And they had their student section, yeah.
It was awesome.
Oh man, we got the fever. We're hot. We can't be stopped. And it was amazing.
Really was.
Those kids, how the counselors and they can. Some of those guys were a little nuts too during the games. Too. I mean, they were like big, and they're getting mad at it because they're all for the Glen Mills team. But yeah, George, did he end up coaching somewhere? George Deviney.
I don't think so.
Oh,
He was special.
He could have made the. You said he almost made the NFL. Oh no,
yeah. He went to camp with the Saints. I don't know what happened. He ended up leaving, but yeah, he was in camp with the Saints.
So you beat Glen Mills. I got to find that article.
Yep, Glen Mills, and then like I said, we played Chester in the Del Val Championship, and they crushed us.
And that was in 80.
It would be 87.
Oh, so 87, 88.
Sorry, that would be 86 going into 87 school year.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Then we had great basketball. We went to the state semis that year too. 88, we went to the state semis. Chester. 87, 88. Lost to Billy Owens during your era. Right. Lost to them 3 times.
How many pros are
from Chester? From Chester High, Rondé Hollis Jefferson played in the NBA. We had Horace Walker, played for Chicago Zephyrs back in 61, 62. He's a 56 grad at Chester. He played 1 year. They're now the the Washington, we're the Bullets and the Wizards now. Chicago. Oh, of course, Jameer Nelson, a 15-year career, 2000 grad, state champ at Jameer. And we've had some other guys like Tyreek Evans from Chester made the NBA, and a couple of guys from St. James. But yeah. So it's just if we won 8 PIAA state titles in boys basketball, we've been to 18 state finals. That's unbelievable. But our last one was 2013. That's because a lot of private schools and all that kind of stuff. It's just.
And how many coaches have they gone through?
Really not that many. Really not that many. The last
Fred,
Fred Pickett was there from 95, 96 through 2007, 2008. Won 3 state titles, Fred. So 2007, 2008, they beat Norristown in the state finals, an unbelievable game. Then Larry Arbray took over, and he won 2 state titles, 2011, 2012, state runner-up 2013. Then Keith Taylor took over 2016, 17, 18, and Keith has been there ever since. And before that, before we had Alonzo Lewis, whose grandson, Solomon Dotson, is a really good sophomore football player for Chester High. So the late, great Alonzo Lewis was there from 80, I'd say it was 85, 86 till 95, 96, and then Fred took over. You're surprised. I'm being accurate here. If I'm wrong, let me know.
I'm amazed, actually.
Yeah, because I do maintain the history. And before Alonzo, we had Cliff Wilson was there for like 11 years. He won a state championship, our first in 1983. You were running around. That's after going 0 for 7 in the state finals. So Chester basketball, I know Chester basketball. And then before him was Alonzo Lewis, Juan Bond for a few years. So, yeah, I could go on and on about the basketball. So, but Interboro has only beaten Chester 1 time in basketball since 1970, when Jack Bidding and those guys actually beat Chester 69-70. Jack Bidding, worked with his grandson in the Burman's warehouse, Justin Doherty.
He was the varsity coach at Interboro when I was there my sophomore year.
So Jack, there you go. Yeah. So he coached, and they had Lou Garrison was on the 69-70.
He was a teacher.
Yeah, unfortunately, they had a great year. They won the I forget section championship, section 1, I think, and then they had a run into Haverford with Steve Joachim and those guys in the first round of the districts. And Haverford went to the state finals that year, lost to Beaver Falls. I'm being accurate. You think I'm a little crazy?
You want to think about that?
Yeah, I know. I follow. But anyway, they lost. So anyway, so 70, Interboro. So Interboro beat Chester in boys basketball 2013-14. And they had a kid named Irons on the team. That's the last time that Chester lost to Interboro. Only once since 19.
Was the whole team sick?
No, the Chester played. We went to the state semis that year, too. We went to the state semis in 2014 and lost to LaSalle College, who then lost to Newcastle in the state final. So, yeah, that's Good stuff. Let's see. Somebody says amazing. My man Steve Rowe, yo, long time. He's got my buddy from Chester County. Amazing. I haven't heard from him in a while. He says, yes, I do have an amazing mind at times. Yeah, some of it. Football, I have to kind of look stuff up a little bit. But Chester's doing well. But Interboro, hopefully, we'll get back on the map here. So the Glen Mills game, anything else during your Interboro Buck career?
Of course, the Ridley games.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said,
Packed house, 10,000.
It didn't matter if we didn't have a win all year or they were always good, but it was always a decent game. You know what I mean? And that was a lot of fun. The Ridley games.
Some of your teammates. Let's run down some of your teammates here that over the Interboro days.
Sure. Jimmy D'Olio, George and Tim DeVinny.
Oh, okay, so there you got it. I'm looking at the article now. Yep. So George Davini, it was pronounced? Davini. He had 700 yards and receptions. A tight end was Tim. That's your senior year then, right?
That's my junior year.
That was a junior year. And then Jim DeLulio. Where are these guys at now? Do you know?
Jimmy played football at Widener.
Nice.
And he's a medical rep or sales rep or something now.
So that was 86, 87. Yeah. And we'll get Bob Burdett was the athletic director.
Yes.
And he gave you a lot of shouts in that Inquirer article.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
Fitzpatrick has all the tools. We think he's as good as anybody in our Del Val League. Now, if we can get a team around him.
I didn't write this.
Yeah, right. We could have another successful season. So was that like a preview? Maybe it was a preview.
Yeah, I think that was the
preview to 90, 87, 88.
Yeah, that was
all right. Because it's senior year. So Jerry Kennedy, first year head coach Jerry Kennedy. Yep. There you go. Has this is 87, 88. Has only 5 returning players. No wonder from that year. 60 plus on the team. So you were the man. Yeah.
I will say the year after me, they won the Del Val League.
Then Steve Lennox came in the early 90s, and he really had them humming for years and years and years. So you played the Veer offense. That's what it says here.
Yeah.
So that's a tough offense to stop. We have like the wing T. Strathaven's still playing the wing T. Ruston plays like a Veer wing T-ish thing that Chester's playing them Friday night, 7 o'clock.
A run pass option. That's pretty much what it is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You read the
the
end. If he comes down, you either throw it or.
In Garnet Valley. You didn't have lacrosse. Yeah, you had lacrosse back then, didn't you?
Girls, not men's.
But I noticed in the Central League, so many teams are playing crossover lacrosse players. Lacrosse, a lot of kids on Marple Newtown and Springfield Delco. Instead of baseball, they're playing lacrosse, and Division I recruits. We've won a bunch of state championships.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, there's a lot of kids, a lot of good lacrosse players.
And Casey played, what sport did she play?
She played softball and lacrosse. And then decided she liked money more, so she started working instead of playing sports.
She's very. She seems very.
She's very competitive. She's very athletic, and she has a lot of skill, but she just doesn't play.
She flies around our store, man. I tell you that much. Yeah. And so we got to give a shout to her. And Steve Rowe might remember him. Coatesville, great, played under Coach Ziegler, Matt Stolzer.
Yeah,
and he is going to be your
future son-in-law.
Yeah, yes. Right. Okay, so tell us about Matt, and I know you guys talk a lot of sports.
Oh yeah, Matt's like the walking, not in your league, but he's another walking encyclopedia of sports knowledge. But I am better than him at golf.
Oh, golf! I suck at golf. Terrible. It's too. At least you guys, it's great for walking and everything. But Matt, he's fired up. He's pretty. Now, are you a Penn State fan? Football?
I never have been.
Never have.
I don't know why.
Fitzpatrick is Irish. Are you a Notre Dame?
No, I was always a Syracuse Orangeman fan.
Okay, they're quarterbacks from Pennsylvania. McCord's doing a great job.
My guy was Don McPherson.
Oh yeah.
My favorite player back then, yeah.
The Syracuse, we're Billy Owens, so you follow him. Billy from Carlisle, graduated in 88, and then went to Syracuse, had a nice career there, then the NBA, and Billy's still coaching in the area. So, yeah, there it goes. I'll try to find the Glen Mills game for you, maybe put it on a post later tonight. that we do. But so that was one of you beat Glen Mills.
Yeah, it was. That was memorable. Actually, you know what? Going back, I think we were down 21-0 against Academy Park my junior year, and we ended up winning that game.
So yeah, that was Interboro's been, as I said, since 1955. So Academy Park used to be Sharon Hill, Darby Township, Collingdale, Fallcroft, yeah. So and Jason Voshesky, a Ridley High School grad, has been there 20 years, head coach. They were hanging first round of the districts. Was Academy Park the other night to Springfield Delco, and then they just overpowered them. Those lacrosse guys are really tough for Springfield Delco. They are tough son of a guns. So, yeah, we had that, and just great comeback by you guys in Glen Mills, the Glen Mills game, you said.
Yeah, the Glen Mills game, we were, like I said, they were, I don't know if they were like ranked or whatever they were, but they were a well-known big team.
I'm trying to think who the coach was back then for that. Was it Banks? I know they had
Barr. Maybe?
Oh, okay. Coach maybe Barr. I'm going to find out later.
I'm going to say that, but I'm not 100%.
I'll find out later. And, we have we had 10 more minutes to go here, Jim. Yeah. So the Academy Park game, I wonder if Cubitt was the original coach.
Sal.
Oh, Sal or, oh, man.
With an O.
Or Papolio or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Papolio. Okay. He was the coach. I heard he was a fiery guy, too.
I didn't know him. I remember the name. I mean,
Where'd you play the game? You played
Interboro.
Interboro that year.
And actually, thinking about the most memorable, my sophomore year, we played Penwood, and there was a brawl in the stands on each side that rolled over onto the field.
Really? 85-86.
Yes.
I'm trying to
people were. One guy had a belt on the field, and he was hitting people with
I'll
the
look
belt.
that up, too.
It was a free-for-all.
Did they continue the game?
No, they stopped the game.
Oh, wow.
We finish it like on a Monday afternoon or
no
Tuesday
fans,
afternoon,
yeah.
something like that.
Man, so the game was at
Interboro.
Oh, at Interboro.
I don't know what happened, but matter of fact, Kevin McGonigal's father played at Penwood at the time. We were just talking about.
He didn't play on that team, did he?
Yeah.
Kevin. Kevin's dad. Oh,
yeah,
Kevin.
Kevin's dad. Yeah.
Who is Kevin?
Yes.
Right. And so the dad's Kevin too, right? Okay. Holy moly! I got to look that up too. So he played for Penwood, Kevin, and you were. Did you get it? You only played one game.
Yeah,
you
I don't remember ever getting into that game, but I remember how crazy it was.
Oh man!
The police were on the field. It was. If it were today, it'd be all over. It'd be.
Yeah. Sometimes I do like Facebook. I do like the post updates on there. It's kind of like my news feed. It keeps me in the radio loop. And, I can't post everything because I try to post some Central PA stuff and, Delco, a lot of Chester stuff or coach any team that I'm announcing. And I put a lot of history on there too, like I had here.
Weird question for you. Do you think Joe Davis sounds like Joe Buck?
So he's
you didn't know who it was.
The announcer for the
their voices
a little bit,
similar.
but I don't
anything but John Smoltz. So,
you're not a big fan of John Smoltz?
We don't need to state the obvious anymore. He's like, are we watching the same game,
okay.
John? Yes,
all
that
right.
pitch was a strike. Yes.
So you're an aggravated Phillies fan. I know that, right?
Yes, I'm an angry Phillies
fan.
fan.
You're an aggravated Phillies fan. But at least, misery loves company, and I'm glad New York continues to struggle.
Thank God.
There you go. Because I was scarred in college because they're New York, they're arrogant, obnoxious,
I
and
hate
then
the Rangers. I hate the Mets. I hate the Yankees, and I hate the Giants.
And hate's a strong word, but they between all the 9 teams, there's more trivia here, and I've been obsessed with this. Now, because last spring I thought the New York Rangers had a shot to get it, but didn't happen. And the Knicks made a run. They knocked the Sixers out. So the Phillies just play horrible. Mets beat them. And then the Dodgers took care of them. And then The Yankees, I really didn't have a problem. I was kind of expecting the Yankees to win. They have unbelievable talent. They've been knocking the door. Aaron Boone, I love his intensity, his fire. Dad Bob Boone was our catcher on the '80 World Series team, the Phillies world champs. And then the fan reached. It was Mookie Betts reaches into the stands. That's epic now. Thank God it didn't turn the series around like a lot of New York people. They were like condoning that because, you saw what happened, and that just ticked me the heck off. And I was like, please, because New York fans are saying, oh, and this guy, the momentum has changed now. But anyway, the Dodgers still knocked them out. That is just, can you imagine?
If that were here, imagine if that happened in Philadelphia.
He said we would get a bad rap. Yeah, but New York's got
batteries and JD Drew.
Right.
You throw snowballs.
Yeah, it was terrible. There's John Pierre. He's the one who started this. Okay, Jim Fitzpatrick. You have to show him I'll show you the Mohawk show after the game. A lot of great memories. Jean Pierre went to Chester High, graduated mid '90s, though, right? '97. So he doesn't remember. Oh, maybe he does, because he played Glen Mills in football, and they were, Yeah, they hate. It was great for those kids. Apparently, some of the counselors a few years ago were, I don't know what exactly they were doing, but they shut everything down.
Yeah, I'm sure. A lot of the counselors were jacked up dudes. That,
None of the guys I know, apparently, because I know a lot.
I know a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
Yeah, but they loved it there. Well, I had Barry Swanson on and I was telling him about my interview with him, and I said to Barry, the track coach. And I said, "Oh, these are only minor offenses." And he goes, he talked about the hoods, the Crips, and everything. And it was crazy. It was crazy. Wow. So he had a chance to play. He said he 1980, the '85 season, your sophomore year, they played Penwood Brawl, Penwood Interboro. He played Interboro. So,
police on the field, everything. It was.
Well, crazy. I'm telling you. I do Coatesville games. They've had a lot of problems, Not the high school, not the team, but the shootings and the bomb threat. Yeah. So it's a distraction to the kids, but they persevered. Knock on wood, at Chester, I don't see any. I don't see any problems at the games. So everything's been great. He's doing the football. Yeah, he's been covering sports, and he has all kinds of great shows on there. So I'm glad you were part of it. Everything's archived. And there you go. He graduated Interboro in 1988. But he had some battles with Chester and Jim Fitzpatrick. And his daughter works for us now, Casey, at Burman's Health Shop. But she's leaving us to go. There's a job opening. There you go, job opening at Burman's Health Shop. There you go. She's leaving to go to Harcum College. And Matt, her fiance, works
there also, yes.
So, and you have any other questions for me now? Or do you? Because I appreciate anything else you want to say before we get out of here.
Let's see.
You can put me on the spot.
Why'd the Phillies lose?
Oh, the Phillies. They just were a buddy of mine that Octorara, head boys basketball coach, also Gene Lambert, who friends with Ryan Vogelsong, who won a World Series with the Giants. Kutztown too, yeah. So Gene, he's a basketball coach, also coached baseball out there at Octorara. He just said the Phillies, the last 2 years, the grind, they had to come back again. They were just tired.
You're a baseball guy.
How can you get tired? Okay.
The team that gets hot wins. It doesn't matter if you have the best record all year long. It's who's playing the best at that time.
Yeah.
It's a grind.
Well, that
season. They just weren't.
No, they were just swinging at bad pitches. It was terrible, Jim.
Their approach was awful.
And I feel bad for the younger kids watching that because they're probably like, "Oh my gosh!" That's not how to play baseball. Yeah. And all the people that spent all that money on the tickets, very, very frustrating.
Come watch Nick Castellanos carry the team.
I know. Well, we have a lot of guys coming back, and hopefully we get Soto. I know he's a nut job, but I love the guy. Soto, the New York Yankee, he's an absolute animal. He's a little cocky and crazy, but I love. What a player!
My son had what's his name? A guy from Havertown that was his pitching coach for a while. Mark DeFelice.
Oh yeah.
And he said,
did he pitch for the Phillies?
Not for the Phillies, but he pitched in the major for a while. He told us that, and this was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, that when Juan Soto was just coming in, the best baseball player that he has ever seen.
You know what's the most ironic thing? Harper left the Washington Nationals. Right. Soto replaced him. He was a rookie, and they won the World Series. And Bryce is with us, But Bryce is a classy guy. Oh, the kids love him, fans, So I don't know. Hopefully we'll get it again this year. But
would you take Pete Alonso and move him back to the
outfield?
Yeah,
I would take him. I would take them all. Yeah, I love Alonso. Pitching. I think we should be okay. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yes, the New York curse continues. 13 years without a world championship. They have 9 teams. The last New York team, New York City metro area, to win a world championship was the New York Giants and Eli Manning in 2011.
With the helmet catch, or was
I think it was the helmet catch. Yeah, that was it. But they also beat Brady.
Yeah,
Brady's only 2 losses. Yeah. In the Super Bowl. So that's the last one, and hopefully it'll continue. I don't think the Jets are going to do it, even though they have
Aaron Rodgers isn't Aaron Rodgers anymore.
No, he's struggling too. So, but anyway, thanks for all the kind words here about our studio, Jim. Appreciate
I gotta
it.
say one more thing.
Yeah. Steve Scalish. Okay, now Steve saw my Facebook post. He was the voice of Chester Clipper Radio. Jean-Pierre, you're not going to believe this. WEEZ Radio, or 1590. It's in Aston now. It used to be in Brookhaven, and before that in Chester. He was the radio voice of Chester High basketball, 93, 94, 94, 95, 96, 97. I know it 3 years. So he went to Interboro High School. Then after that, he went to Boston. He was like a traffic guy. He did traffic reports. He's a big-time radio guy, Steve. So anyway, tell him about you undressed him.
Steve, I have to apologize to you. I didn't realize that I de-pantsed you in high school.
That's what.
And my sincere apologies.
Steve Scalish. So he won a radio career. He's back in the area now. So you never knew Steve got a big-time announcer?
I haven't seen him for a long time until actually last week on Facebook on a comment. Yeah.
Right. And now he's back here now, and I think it's his cousin works as a producer for the Eagles. Radio producer for the Eagles. So again, Jean-Pierre, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Jim, thank you for coming out to the show here tonight. Jim Fitzpatrick, the Interboro High School great football and baseball class of 1988. And thanks for watching CMPradio.com or .net, CMPradio.net and Delco Sports 360.